How did you get to know about Safe Security?
I knew I was not that experienced, but I just wanted to have something from my CV.
Did you formally do any kind of certifications within cybersecurity?
No, I didn't do any such because see, OSCP is quite expensive.
Anyone who's starting out in cybersecurity or pursuing entrepreneurship within cybersecurity should once meet Mr. Rahul Tyagi.
Never got to feel that he is the CEO of the company.
Your recommendation of how people can actually effectively do networking over LinkedIn or on conferences.
I started sending out requests to my seniors, and I used to do that shamelessly. He's from LNMIT, send him as a request. I used to leave my classes, I used to bunk those classes, and I used to go to those workshops.
If you want to get something from someone, first offer them something.
For a moment, I could not speak.
What is one red flag to watch out for in jobs or internship offers? We started out this platform where students can come in, early professionals can join our platform, can get vetted free of cost, and can get matched to job opportunities free of cost entirely, right? Hello everyone, I'm Shikhar. I'm co-founder at Unbound. Today we have a very special guest. We have Anmol with us, who has been an ex-cybersecurity intern at Safe Security. Thanks, Anmol, for joining us at Unbound podcast. It's lovely to have you here. Could you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, my pleasure for inviting me. I'm Anmol Watts, and currently I'm an undergraduate at the LNM Institute of Information Technology. And right now, I'm basically a cybersecurity enthusiast. I'm also in the phase. I'm not an expert. So some answers which I might give might end up being profoundly, maybe a little go off track, but bear with me on that part. But yeah, that's about me.
Pleasure to have you here. So, Anmol, how did you first start with cybersecurity, and how did you get to know about Safe Security? Could you just tell us that? And how did you apply at Safe? Was it through online, through college, or some other medium?
See, cybersecurity, I didn't find cybersecurity as a domain initially. If you remember, while we had COVID on, I was in my 12th grade and we used to have classes over Zoom. So there was a part when I used to just, when you get an ID, it's basically a meeting ID and a password. So that's when it started clicking me that, can you crack this password? I started, searching on the internet. So that's when I got to know, yes, there's something known as password cracking, or what you call brute forcing. So that's how I found cybersecurity. And about Safe. Safe is actually, the co-founders of Safe are Rahul Tyagi sir, Saket Modi sir, and Vidit Bakshi sir. And Saket Modi sir is actually the alumni of our college. So that's how I got to know Safe. Actually, when you just enter a college as a fresher in the first year, you have got some alumni meets. And the first one, because Saket sir is, I would say, the most popular alumni of our college. Yeah, so he was the first one to take the meet. And that's how it, he explained cybersecurity to us. He's explained what Safe does, what Safe is, how was his experience with cybersecurity with our college. And that's how I got to know Safe. About joining Safe, at that point in time, I was actually working under a professor over an internship project, basically under LUCIP, which is LNMIT undergraduate summer internship program. So I somehow had a good, I made a mark in that project, and the professor was impressed. So, and at that point in time, I was also simultaneously looking for some internships. I knew I was not that experienced, but I just wanted to have something from my CV, because that was something I newly made. I made a resume and I just wanted to send out to people. So the professor, in a way, asked me that, are you looking for internship opportunities or something? And when we discussed, he got to know that I'm into cybersecurity. He just, told me that you send me your CV or resume via WhatsApp, and I'll forward it to Saket sir, because he was in quite good touch with him, and he was also the head of alumni council of a college. So my CV went both ways, via an email as well as via the professor. So it doubled down, and it went a lot. It was a very long thread, about 37 emails, interactions with Rahul Tyagi sir, with Bakshi sir, Saket Modi, so one or two employees in Dubai, some in Bangalore, some in Delhi. And then after a couple of interviews, I was finally selected as an intern, as a cybersecurity intern.
Right. So, did you formally do any kind of certifications within cybersecurity, like OSCP or CPTS?
No, no, I didn't do any such because see, OSCP is quite expensive for a fresher. It's around 1.3 something, 1.5 lakhs. So that I have that in my mind map that I'll be doing that someday, but not right now. I've never done expensive certifications, but I've done a couple of small certifications that just just send out that yeah, I know some skill. I have done a lot of CTFs and projects and hackathons, which also showcase that I've done. I've got somehow a good experience with the domain, so that's how it worked. In Safe, we had
Right. So,
actually a lot of training and all in the first half, where I did some training courses and some certifications on MITRE ATT&CK and Security Plus. But yeah, that's all I did. I never did a big OSCP, OSEP, or INE or TCM security certifications.
if you would have checked any of the job descriptions of any companies, right, who hire
Yeah.
entry-level cybersecurity engineers or interns, they usually require you to have OSCP as a certificate. Now, a lot of students in India, as you mentioned, OSCP as a certificate is very expensive, right? It's around 1.5 lakh rupees. And if you're doing retakes, then it becomes just more expensive, right? And as you also explained, that students might be skilled, but they might not be able to do such costly certifications. Now, because you have interned at Safe, you explained us that you got recommendations. How was your interview experience? Were you asked about this question that, hey, Anmol, have you done such a certification? Was there any kind of disadvantage? What's your thoughts on that?
See, this is a question which I also asked a lot of my seniors and many of my juniors at my college while I was the lead of cybersecurity last year asked me. And I always said it's a very subjective question, and it what I'm going to say is completely my opinion. I can be a little wrong, and if I'm wrong, I would love to be corrected. But yeah, certifications, first of all, they do have value because they are basically a testament that yeah, you have passed something, that's your skill set, and you know something in the domain. But as you mentioned, many job profiles on LinkedIn have a specification that you need to have an OSCP or a big certification by INE or something. And then you see the experience is 0 to 1 years, and then the paycheck or the CTC is around 6 to 8 lakhs. So that doesn't map 1 to 1 because a fresher doesn't have money. He wants experience to generate money. So yeah, I mean, that doesn't add up because once a person has an OSCP, he would not be applying for a job which gives back around 6 to 8 lakhs. He'll have a very good upper hand, and he'll directly try for big companies or good startups paying better in double digits, of course. As far as I mean, your safe is considered, Safe didn't ask me any certifications, and not just Safe. I've seen many such companies, not many, but yeah, some I've seen which give a very constructive job profile that either they won't have any column of certifications, or if they do, they'll just put out any certification that makes ensures us that you have skill set in web pen testing or forensics or XYZ. So that's quite constructive. You just don't precisely, if you have this then it's done, otherwise you're not selected, no matter if you have cracked some CTFs or something, national international CTF. So that seems a little demotivating. But as far as Safe is considered, they did not ask me once about my certifications. They only asked me about my skill set. And in fact, in the first half, as I said, they trained me because of course in my at the end of my second year, I did not have at all any such experience at all. I just had given some CTFs. I had a couple of hackathons which I had won, so a couple of bounties, around $900 bounties which I had got digital. So that was all which was in my resume. My resume was only half a page. So yeah, so they just checked on my skill set, and They just interviewed me on behalf of that. Even now, if you check about Safe Security, they I don't think they mention out any certification predominantly separately. So yeah, I mean, they didn't ask me about my certifications.
Right. So, because you are a student right now in India, there are a lot of students out in India who can't do certificates within cybersecurity, such as OSCP, right? And a lot of these
Hmm.
students don't come from colleges like IITs or NITs, right? They don't have that kind of brand tag associated with their resumes. Now, someone who wants to get into cybersecurity, someone who has skills within cybersecurity through platforms like HacktheBox or HackMe, what would be your best cost-effective roadmaps for them to get started out in cybersecurity to get good jobs and internships without any cybersecurity certifications?
See, it should be a balanced approach, I believe. You should, if you cannot afford OSCP, obviously, then have some small certifications that just put out that some skill. Like, I also have some certifications from SecOps. Then I have that practical ethical hacking, which I was, by chance I got it from free from somewhere. So yeah, you can have some small certifications, but side by side, you need to have a good amount of projects, competitions, CTFs, hackathons, and you need to have a good ranking, like national rank, some 1 or 2 digit, international rank, some 3 digits. So that also sends out a message that despite the fact you don't have certifications, you actually have skill sets which are good enough for the company. You have some experience, if not in the real world as an internship or something, but at least in the simulated environment. So
Right.
yeah, so certification, you can bypass OSCP certifications and other expensive certifications in that way. But as far as internship goes, internship doesn't take applying for internship doesn't take much time. You just need to fill out your details, and at times the browser auto saves your details. So you just fill it out, and if you're selected, you will get a reply. Otherwise, you forget about that. You keep going. You keep making some projects. Any project which you wish to, you keep updating yourself, because cybersecurity is a very dynamic tech. It's an online police thief police game. So you need to update yourself each and every time.
So you had mentioned that you had done bug bounty before, and I mean, one should do projects within cybersecurity. Now, if I just search on Google or on ChatGPT that what kind of projects I could build out in cybersecurity, there would be a list of 1,000 or 100 different projects. What would be your recommendations that factors which actually impress recruiting, hiring managers or recruiters within cybersecurity?
Yeah.
What kind of projects one should do?
So first of all, I did not do bug bounty. It was a digital bounty in a hackathon.
Mhm.
I have not done bug bounty as such. So it was a digital bounty which was at an hackathon, where we built an obfuscation tool based on Python. So as far as projects are you're looking at projects. I believe what I have done with me is that there are some hotspot projects whenever you go at intern chala tutorials point or something. But I believe you should make projects which are quite relatable to you, and it showcases what you have learned. For example, when I was learning about malware analysis, I made a keylogger. When I was learning about Flare VM or x86 assembly, so I actually made a proper ebook on Gitbook, and then it got decent amount of stars. And similarly for cyber threat intelligence, so I have never made any hotspot projects. I've just made projects while I was learning some new domain so that I can practice as well. And that's how it showcases. If there is an XYZ hotspot, a popular project, and everyone starts making it, so I believe that people on the recruitment side might also start noticing that everyone's making a similar project. So I've never done that, so I don't have experience with hotspot projects. But yeah, I've always made projects which simulate, which kind of show people that I have learned this, and I've made a project corresponding to that skill set, to that domain. And I cannot talk more about the recruiting progress, because I've not been on that side. I've been most on the applying side of the recruitment process. So yeah, I mean, you can make projects that way as well.
Sure. And how was your experience at Safe Security? What was your day-to-day experience like, or what was your internship project which you were working on? And if you can also mention some kind of fun moments you had at Safe, for example, friendships you had formed or mentorship you had received.
So once I cleared my interviews, I was onboarded by the HR, and it was a work from home, a remote internship for 2 months from May till July, I believe, and it was extended till August. And I used to report to Rahul Tyagi sir directly, and he was my mentor. Yeah, so in the first half, it was complete training. Because I had just completed my second year. Yeah, second year, and from my resume, as I told you, I did not have any experience. All I had was some CTFs, good ranking around. In some IIT CTF, I had an all India rank of around 9 or 8 or something. In Carnegie Mellon CTF, I had around 200 something ranking. So I had, I won't say a very good ranking, but a decent ranking at that point in time. So they kind of knew that if I'll be trained, I can do something for them in their projects. So the first half was complete training. I was given Professor Mesa training materials. I was given a proper training course of CompTIA Security Plus. I did some small certifications on MITRE attack framework and AI security, and then I was told to make some walkthroughs in TryHackMe or other, box challenges in any language, preferably in Hindi, so that Indians and locals understand it well. Once I did that, I was assigned to a project which basically worked, which was, if I give you a bird's eye view, it was remaking of the technical documentation of Risk Lens, something that Safe had acquired that year, and it was they had to build it. So I was the only intern which was doing that with one or two senior employees as well. So my work was to rebuild, redraft, and do it from scratch, everything to shift that documentation to their portal and make changes that were possible. I had to work with it, with that tool. I had to redraft everything. So that was what my work was. And after, it actually got extended, as I said. So once if the project was completed, I got a call with I had a call with Rahul Tyagi sir. He told me that the feedback is good. Your feedback is quite good. People here want to work with you. So you'll have, because you're in cybersecurity enthusiast, you're into that domain. You'll have a call with the CISO, which is with Bakshi sir. So I had a call in the morning. I remember that around 9 a.m. in IST, and we had a chat for around 45 1 hour, where I talked about cyber threat intelligence, SOC, and some conferences I had organized at that point in time, or workshops I had attended, offline workshops I had attended about cybersecurity and OSINT. And I had also done some amateur research on OSINT, which I showed him that this is what you can do. This is what I did. These are some new ways to find accounts and something and images and all that. Voting Barretts, etc. So he was also impressed, and he said, you know what, would you prefer another location like Delhi or Bangalore? And I was a little. It seemed a little awkward. I said that I am at my home right now, and I'll have college from once the summer vacation is over. So there was some confusion, and then he properly stated out that we want to extend you. So you come here, you do another internship, and then for maybe a possible full-time role based on business requirements, etc. So you come here, either in Delhi and all. And then I had to clarify that, sir, I'll be going in my third year. I have 2 more years left, so I cannot just join. The college won't allow. So then he said, "Oh my God, I mean, I'll just confirm with Rahul Tyagi sir, and then I'll get back to you." Then immediately around after, I'd say 15-20 minutes, I had a call with Rahul Tyagi sir, and he said, "You know what? There was some kind of confusion. We really wanted to keep you. So do one thing: be in touch with us for the next whole year, and in 2024 summer vacations, you have again, as usual, you mail me, and I'll see what I can do. So we really want you in this company." So for the 1 year, I was in regular contact with all three of the co-founders. I actually met Saket Modi sir when he came to the college, and we had lunch together with the professor, the initial professor who recommended me as well, and one two more students. And then I was also in regular contact with Rahul Tyagi sir. He used to sometimes do some work. He used to say, do this for the time being, and I used to do that task in 1 or 2 hours or something. And then I just messaged him this summer, and then I got a sort of an internship with a prospective full-time role, if possible, starting from January 2025. So that was something, for a person coming from an upper middle class, it's like, you rush out to your parents and you say, I got a job, naukri mil gayi, and all that. So that was something which was quite memorable for me. It'll always be, it was quite an unconventional way of getting a job, that too off campus, which seems to be difficult in India. So yeah, that was something which is very, very memorable. I can still, imagine everything of it, relive that moment.
I think it all sounds really fun because even I've met Mr. Rahul Tyagi sir in person. I've met Mr. Saket Modi sir as well. And I still remember I met him in a conference. And I think for all the audience watching us, right, even I'm a student of third year engineering college. I think anyone who's starting out in cybersecurity or pursuing entrepreneurship within cybersecurity should once meet Mr. Rahul sir because
Yeah.
the kind of clarity he gives, the kind of direction he gives, the kind of the motivation he gives, right? He'll tell you everything in black and white, and you still make sure that you're motivated as a founder or a student working alongside with him. And I think he's also a very prominent figure out in cybersecurity, right? I think, and he
Yes,
has
yes.
earned the title of legend of cybersecurity not just
Mm.
because of his professional work, but I think because of his social relationships as well with his students and with the kind of people, like how he interacts with people. So I think he's very kind, very polite person.
Yeah, I never got to feel that he is the CEO of the company or he is the co-founder of the company. I initially thought they might be a little hostile because I was an intern and working on a security project, and once I leave the company, I might disclose it to someone, as the picture you have when you step into cybersecurity, that you'll be wearing a hoodie, and then there'll be everything black, you'll be in a dark environment cracking something up. But that was not what I, when I went into Safe, people were very, very kind. And the person I was working with on the project also was very, I mean, I never felt that I was an intern and he was senior to me. I mean, I don't know, 3 4 posts senior to me. I never felt that. We used to talk like, are yaar kaisa hai, something like that. And with sir as well, I used to be respectful, but he from his end used to be, हाँ तुम देख लो, हाँ देख लो कर सकते हो तो. And never in a very that mode that you are an intern and I'm the co-founder. So I never felt that. He's a, I mean, Safe. I feel people are great there.
Right. Actually, I do look up to Mr. Rahul as a role model because I still remember that when I met him in the conference for the first time, right? I mean, you can imagine a conference full of CISOs and average age is around 40, 45, even 50, right? And you're a 20-year-old out in the conference trying to make those conversations, and people are not just replying to you, right? Because you're no one in the conference, right? You're just starting up, you're a student. But I think talking to Mr. Rahul, he just makes everything such comforting. He gives you that opportunity, and he just makes sure that you're getting that kind of recognition and the kind of opportunities that one should deserve in such conferences. And I think he's a very kind person and very generous person. So yeah, I think Safe Security from that stand, I think is very amazing. And I think they call their team as team of rock stars. So I think
Yeah.
Mr. Tyagi is actually a rock star. So coming to our next question, you had mentioned that you had secured a pre-placement opportunity, right? PPO from Safe Security.
Yeah.
So how did you really get it? I mean, if someone is actually doing an internship currently, what should they really take care about, or what should they really do at their internship to actually secure a PPO?
It depends on company to company, but I believe that first of all, apart from your performance, obviously your responsiveness matters a lot, because how quickly immediately you respond to the situation, and also it depends in what domain you are in. If you are in a threat intelligence domain or analysis domain where you need to respond immediately, so that makes a mark. And I didn't get any offer in a conventional way. It was all in a very unconventional way. I didn't apply through a job portal. It was just mails and recommendations and then working there. And I mean, the kind of PPO, I'm not sure if you can call that a PPO, but it's a 6 month internship with a possible full-time role later on, based on my performance and the business requirements. So if that comes in PPO, then yeah. So then you need to basically, for example, what happened with me was sometimes this year when I was not actually as an intern, I used to get a call from sir, and I remember I was sometimes at a family function and used to call me ki, yaar Anmol, can you do this? Just it won't take much time. And I said, yeah, I'll do that. And he heard some music DJ in the background. He said, are you somewhere outside? I said, yeah, I'm at a party or something. He said, oh, sorry. I said, no, I'll do that. And that, I think that is something that makes a mark in the other person's memory, that yeah, he not you don't need to do that always, but once or twice if you do that, I think it creates a proper memory, a proper log in the person's mind, that yes, if required in some emergency, that person might be there to respond. Whenever some messages used to come from Safe, I used to respond immediately. I used to say, yeah, I'll be doing that at this point in time. Though I'm outside, I'm busy in some other work, but I'll do that. I used to make sure that I'm there. I'm seeing their messages. I'm not ignoring their messages for 8 hours and then replying. And then they might give a response that it's already 8 hours, so no use now. So you need to respond immediately. You need to work well. You need to communicate well. So if you give half information and then it's like half you understand, half is my what I know, half is what you know. So that doesn't add up, especially in cybersecurity. You need to give proper in crux everything, you know, correct, factually correct and practically correct out there. So apart from that's what I think. Apart from your performance, your skill set, your people skills work, to your performance. How will you make sure that you connect and respect your not as senior junior but as people, as fellow employees. So that's what I did, and that's, I believe, what might matter a lot in companies.
Right. I just feel that trust factor is very important, and I think that is something which students should really focus on, and not just completing task at hand, but also, as you
Yeah.
explained, about building the relationship with people. You had initially told us that you had gotten this opportunity to save via your network with Mr. Saket because he is your alumni. Now, of course, not everyone would have that kind of network with Mr. Saket, right?
Yeah.
For example, how I got an internship at DRDO, and by the way, even I've not done OSCP or any kind of certifications out in cybersecurity. How I got my internship with DRDO for cybersecurity was to network with the scientist. Now, what's your recommendation of how people can actually effectively do networking over LinkedIn or on conferences, and how to network with right people? So, how to actually find right people who to actually network with, and what's your strategies for networking?
So my network with Saket sir was initially quite indirect. I mean, my professor in between, so who helped me a lot in that point in time. But yeah, what I used was, when I came into college, I was introduced to LinkedIn. I started sending out requests to my seniors, and I used to do that shamelessly. I mean, I did not even care for once that this senior might know me or not. I used to just see that he's from LNMIT, send him a request. At times I used to get a notification from LinkedIn that are you, your account might get suspended because of so many requests out there. But yeah, I used to do that a lot. And then after I gained some amount of around 400, 500, then I started, searching out for specific domains which were people, similar interests, or say the similar occupation, or the company I would, I look up to. So that's how I started, giving out connection requests on, and the other ways I believe is that attending many conferences, conventions, hackathons, or just randomly going out to people and meeting, because on campus jobs and placements are, I believe, as far as I've heard, is just a part of Indian colleges and engineering universities. In the abroad, in the US, UK, Canada, and Europe, Australia, as far as I have heard, it's not the case. You need to just network and get a job on your own. There won't be any companies coming on campus as such, which we hear that he was placed on campus and off campus. So it's all off campus out there. So networking helps a lot. Like, another part of my LinkedIn was networking via conventions and conferences. Even though I never presented a paper till now, I used to go to many conferences, which in fact I hosted a couple of. I was in the organizing team of couple of conferences like Space, which is about cryptography and all, and the one more was sponsored by Safe Security and DRDO. I'm forgetting the name. It was also about cryptography and privacy. Both were held at my college, and I was in the organizing team. I volunteered for both of them. I used to attend a lot of workshops. I used to leave my classes. I used to bunk those classes, and I used to go to those workshops instead. Just to after some part of the workshop, there's an obvious break for lunch or for snacks, and that point in time you just go, you talk with the person who is either presenting a paper in a in a conference. So I talked with many researchers from UCLA, or from universities in Netherlands, or Belgium or Spain, and then some were also from China and Hong Kong, I believe. So I had a talk with them. I used to just a normal chit chat, and then after you just talk, you exchange your names, what you do, and then you send a LinkedIn request if you think that the person might be interested in what you said, if your small conversation made an impact. So yeah, that's what I did, and that's what I also do at times. It helps a lot. You just you connect with people, and then you help them also when they are in need. Sometimes they message you that if you have some job openings or something, or some hack the box pro coupon or something. So yeah, you if you have, you give them, and then when you are in need, you just ask them with politely that I need some guidance, or I need some referral, or I need something else. So that helps a lot.
So I think one beautiful thing which you mentioned here was that networking is all about relationship building, right? So
Yeah.
if some student is approaching someone, they should probably have a conversation about what they are working in, or what they are currently doing, or what that person is currently doing in the industry, or what his current job is, right? Rather than just directly going and asking for a referral, because that could
Yeah.
basically upset the person. I think Mr. Saket had done a workshop at Plaksha University, the college at which I study in. And in that workshop, he had mentioned that if you want to get something from someone, first offer them something. So if you want to get someone's advice, probably just offer them 0.5% equity of your company, or of your startup first, right? And that person would be just much more open to helping you, because you have offered them a small help, and they would just offer you something much more in the return. So I think that is something which you really mentioned well, that networking is all about relationships. Now, what I wanted to ask you was that there are a lot of students, and you might have seen this on LinkedIn, that a lot of people are just occupied by doing CTFs on Hack the Box, Try Hack Me. A lot of people put that they're in the top 1% of Try Hack Me, right? And I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of students across India who are just focused on doing certifications and building their hands on Hack the Box, rather than actually applying for internships. So do you think people should prioritize internships, or should people prioritize certifications and hack the box and try hack me more?
So it goes hand in hand as far as I have seen, as far as I have experienced. And I mean, hack the box basically enhances your skill set. You practice on hack the box, you practice on try hack me or port swigger or vulnerability labs or something, and then you apply for internships. And as I mentioned, it needs to be a balanced approach. It doesn't take much time to apply for an internship or a job opportunity. Many a times the browser auto saves your information. You just click on the tab and then your information is filled. You fill out internship opportunities and then forget about it. If you get a reply, well and good. If you don't, you keep on going for your CTFs and upskilling yourself. But yeah, it's apart from hack the box and try hack me, it's obviously important to give CTFs as well. Many hack the box CTFs like cyber apocalypse, or if possible university CTFs, and then many other CTFs which companies like Sneak host, like universities like University of Texas Austin, Carnegie Mellon, then Georgia Tech, or IIT Jodhpur, Bits Pilani. And in fact, last year I also started a CTF at my college, a hack CTF, which had a very massive footfall. So yeah, I mean, you can start giving those. There are regular CTFs as well at ctftime.org, and you can also apply. You can not apply, but you can create a team of your own, either a college team or a friends group, and then give CTFs. It's a good way of practicing and being up to date in this dynamic domain. So it goes. I believe it goes hand in hand, and it can be quite subjective. Many people might find it quite tedious to find job opportunities which are very relevant to them, and instead first make their skill set strong enough and then apply. For others, it might be kind of a self validation when they apply for internships rather than going to the skill set. So it should go hand in hand.
So I've seen a lot of students who are especially applying for technical roles within cybersecurity, for example, penetration testing or SOC. They really focus on the technical skills, but a lot of students struggle with soft skills, for example, communication, speaking in English, writing reports in English, right? What's your recommendation? How can people actually improve their soft skills? And why is soft skill important at internship site or job site? Was soft skill important for you at Safe? Could you just give an example?
Yeah, so soft skills are obviously important because that's how you communicate with people. That's how you put forward what you're thinking. If you, it doesn't matter initially if you are stopping in between. If you can't, if your mind thinks faster but you're not able to speak that fast, it doesn't matter, because that's what I also happen to have initially, and everyone I believe has that that confidence gap. But once you start you talk to people out there, you'll find that you're not alone. Many people feel the same. And you can improve your soft skills by the best way to improve soft skills, I would say, is to talk in front of a mirror. And that's what I did when applying, when I had an interview with Save, the first interview, back in 2023. So I know I was there was a mirror in the hostel room, and I, for half an hour or for 1 hour or something, I was randomly introducing myself, because I knew that the interview is Rahul Tyagi sir, and I was so tense that he's a co-founder. I don't know what he might ask. I was introducing myself. I was revising all concepts possible, but he did not ask any of those complex concepts. He just asked me, tell me something about Python, tell me something about Python libraries. And I was, for a moment, I could not speak, because all I could get was how to do memory forensics, how to do image forensics, digital forensics, what is this, what is that. So yeah, initially that happens, but then technical skills are important, but soft skills are equally, and I would say more important, because that's, you can sometimes, if you can exaggerate as well a little bit, if if you want to. So that's, if you want to exaggerate a little bit, soft skills happen to be your best friend. So yeah, soft skills are a big plus if you can, and you should. If you want to improve them, just attend conferences, go to parties, go to meetups, go to conventions, talk with random people, and you'll get to know it's not hard. It's quite easy to overcome that confidence, to overcome that, not that confidence, that lack of confidence, and to overcome that pressure of talking in English or in any native languages.
Perfect. And let's do a lightning round now. So I'll ask you one sentence question, and you just have to give me an answer which comes in your mind. And these
Sure.
three questions have been given to me by the Cyber Unbound Discord community, which we have. So, what is one cybersecurity skill you think that every intern should have?
Debugging.
Got it. Top resources for staying updated on cybersecurity trends.
Try hack me, hack the box, and newsletters, TLDR.
Probably with Fair Institute.
Yeah, Fair Institute, obviously. Yeah, Mitre
Right.
attack Fair Institute.
Right. And what is one red flag to watch out for in jobs or internship offers?
Uh, their job description.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
And what's your thought about Cyber Unbound as a platform? So, because we spoke about, certifications being very costly and people and students might be having skills. So, we started out this platform where students can come in, early professionals can join our platform, can get vetted free of cost, and can get matched to job opportunities free of cost entirely, right? What's your thought on such a platform, which we have started especially exclusively for cybersecurity?
Yeah, I saw that LinkedIn post about Cyber Unbound. I actually visited the website cyberunbound.co. Right. So yeah, I loved that. It was quite innovative, and I kind of wished that when I was in my first year, I could have something like that. It's quite helpful because cybersecurity, as far as I have heard and as far as I know, cybersecurity jobs don't come very quickly on campus colleges, and applying off campus is quite difficult. Quite, you need to be good at everything because a person with an OSCP will also apply, and a person with no certification will also apply. So this is a very, very positive way of motivating people to come on board to pursue cybersecurity as a career choice, because it is a very big market and it's growing day by day because of AI and technology, digital footprints and all. So the first thought I had honestly was that I wish that something like this would have happened when I was in my first year, and I would be able to connect with HR and job opportunities very well, quickly and instantly, quite easily. Because nowadays, when you even if you try doing that on LinkedIn, they don't reply, they don't accept your connection request and all that. So that sometimes is not, it's a little disheartening, but Cyber Unbound is quite positive in that way. It's a quite constructive, I'd say, a web place for both
Thank you so
freshers
much.
and experienced.
So, hearing all of your story, I think it's very motivating, especially for all the students who would be watching this podcast, all the oldie professionals who would be trying to apply for internship or would be trying to figure out how to really get into cybersecurity jobs. I think your story is very motivating, very inspirational. Just because we're now wrapping up this podcast, do you have any final advices or tips for students who are interested in cybersecurity, who might be confused as to how to go about jobs, who might be nervous right now, scared, just 1 year, 2 year back, how you would be in this position, right? What are your tips, any final tips, advices for all of them?
Yeah, I'd say cybersecurity is quite technically, grabbed domain. You don't have as such a non-tech job. Even the job profile of an SOC, software security operation center, also has an analyst at the back, but it's not basically analyzing it. It also requires a lot of technical knowledge. So if you need to be, when you are getting into, if anyone is getting into this domain, I believe he should be known that he'll require a good technical expertise in any, it not need not be cloud, AI, everything, but in any one of that. Right. If you want to get started into cybersecurity, I believe there's a good roadmap. Roadmap.sh has a good cybersecurity roadmap. You can refer that, and See, nowadays ChatGPT can write a lot of code, and 90% of that code ends up to be either crap or something, you know, full of errors. So debugging is very important. Generating code, you have AI and all for that. AI cannot debug its own code. I've seen that. I've given some prompts as well. When you have a 1,000 line code, you need to do that manually on your own. So you need to be prepared that it's a very dynamic domain. It's never like at one point in time you will be the expert of everything. There'll be somewhere some point in time where there come a new tech and you won't be that up to date. So you need to be even at 30 or 40 in this domain. What I have heard, what I have seen on YouTube or on conferences, you need to be up to date. You need to keep learning. You need to keep upgrading your skill set, your own self, your technical depth. So that's cybersecurity, and that's what is quite. It's since it's happening, it's quite thrilling. It's quite interesting to get into it.
Thank you so much, Anmol, for this insightful conversation we had. I think it's going to help a lot of students and early professionals out there who are just trying to figure out how to get into the job market and internships within cybersecurity. Thank you so much, Anmol, for your time. And it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you for inviting me.